Hi everybody, it's Al again, and I wanted to do a quick video here on the Heritage Arms Revolver and kind of do an update. This is the first one that I purchased. I have two of them, but this is my favorite in the 4 3/4 inch barrel because it has really great balance. But I noticed in the last few times that I was shooting it that it started shooting to the left, so I would have to correct to the right, and I thought maybe I knocked the front side off, and when I went to try to fix that front side and bend it with with a little mallet, I noticed that the barrel moved a little bit, and sure enough, the barrel had come slightly loose. It had a little play in it, and it was causing it to move, and obviously because it moved, my front side also moved with it, so I ended up having to pull it out. And so I thought I'd do a video real quick on what you could do to fix something like that if it happens to you. I only paid $150 for this gun, brand new, at Academy, and it came with two cylinders, a 22 long rifle and a 22 Magnum. So even though it's very inexpensive, I really love this gun and I don't want to get rid of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use brake cleaner. We're going to shoot it on the threads, and we're going to clean those threads out real good with a brush. Make sure we get all the gunk out, and we get all the oil out, because we're going to use a sealer, so the thread locker, so that this doesn't happen in the future. So now it's nice and degreased in here. And we'll probably do the same thing with the frame. So notice that I use a pair of vice grips, or a pair of vice in there, and I put my frame in there. Shoot that a little bit here. Get that brush in there really good. Twist it around, and that should get it nice and clean. Should get it nice and degreased. Now we're gonna go ahead and stick this in there and clean that off. Those threads out. You can see that it comes out from the other side here, so that tells me that that's working out okay. You can push a screwdriver in there as well, pull it out. Make sure you got a little bit in here, and that'll get all the threads nice and clean. So just continue doing that. Move it back and forth, roll it around in there really good. There we go, that came out pretty clean that time. So that should be all that we need to do here. The brake cleaner does a really good job at degreasing stuff and getting it clean. So now that that's done, we're ready to put this barrel back in place. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some thread locker in there. I decided to use a medium strength thread locker, and what I want to do, or what would you like to do, is essentially put a little bead in there. And because I don't plan on taking this out again in the future, I'm just going to put a little bit more than I normally would. And I'll put a little bead all the way around. There we go. And now when you thread this, it will go ahead and hold in really well. So now we're going to go ahead and put that barrel back in its place. Thread it back into the frame, and it uses this uses some pretty good, some pretty fine threads. So you have to make sure you align it really well in there. Just get it in there by hand as far as you can take it, and then we're going to use a pair of vice grips, but with something to protect that barrel when we push it the rest of the way. There we go. It actually it's almost all the way in, so we're going to raise that barrel a little bit so I can go ahead and finish tightening it up. And how I took it out, just so you know, is I used a toe strap that I had that I've busted before, because I used it to pull trees and stuff like that. And so I put my vice grips on there, and I use that to protect my barrel. And with that, we're going to go ahead and finish tightening this out. Give it a little bit more of a turn. And we're going to Give it just a tad more. When I get it as tight as I can possibly get it. And let that thread locker do its magic in there. There we go. Okay, that won't go anymore. That's at the end of the trowel right there. So, we got the barrel nice and tight. And we didn't mess up the finish on the barrel, although it's not a big deal because this gun already has a pretty rough finish from me using it so much. This gun has over 15,000 rounds in it now. I used to shoot about 200 rounds a week. I don't shoot as much anymore because I have a lot of them that I like to play around with. But this gun for sure has had more than 15,000 rounds in it. The trigger's still good. The mechanism in it is great. That's the only thing that I ever noticed that went wrong with it is the fact that the barrel came a little loose. So we're gonna fix that. We already did. Now it's just a matter of waiting for that to dry up. In the meantime, we're gonna get the extractor. We're gonna clean that extractor out really good. Throw a little bit of carburetor cleaner on there. Run that brush. Make sure we get all that gunk out of there. There we go. And for the rest of the extractor pin, you do the same thing. It already has some brake cleaner in here, so I'm just going to run that in, run that through the pin in the cylinder, and then again I'm just going to run that over the cylinder. Just kind of get it a little bit cleaned up before I throw all the parts back in there. That's got it there. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put that extractor back together. And this extractor fits like this. And it fits like this. Put that back in there. There we go. Put the spring into it. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to loosen that up. We're going to turn it upside down. Turn it the other way. Now I'm going to take care of my extractor. Just catch that corner there. There we go. Put that extractor in place. Actually, I should turn it around so you guys can see it better. I'll put it around to this end here. And now you can see that this spring fits into this hole here, right? And that's where that ejector will come out, and then this fits in here, and there's a screw that goes into that hole on the barrel. So we're going to put that screw in there real quick. There we go. That's a flat tip screw. I'm going to go ahead and thread it in. There we go. It's nice and tight now. We're going to thread that in really good. Actually, that screw was loose when I took it out. So let's go ahead and not be shy about this. I'll throw a little bit of thread locker on that one too. And that way we just make sure that everything is good to go from now on. So we'll grab the thread locker. Actually, I'll just put a little dab in there. Well, maybe in here on the screw itself. There we go. That'll do it. Put the screw back in the hole. Put the spring back in its hole. Line up the screw hole with the screw. Tighten it up. Ready to go. Put that cylinder back in place. Put it in half cock. Open the loading gate on it. Drop your cylinder in place. Put the pin into it. There we go. Good as new. You should shoot pretty well now. It'll be right on target. That sight was turned over this way because it had come loose, and that was causing me to obviously move my gun so it would not shoot on target. Now you should be good to go. So anyways, that's what I wanted to do for this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. God bless and take care. Well, we had a little bit of time for the paint, or for the thread locker to dry up in here. So we're going to go ahead and try and see if we can hit the target now that is dried up. So we'll take a look and see if it's good now. Looks good now. So that did the trick. You can see a little bit of that blue thread locker right there. And it's all dried up. It's good to go. So anyways, if you have something like that happen to you, just take the, take the cylinder out. And then just take that ejector assembly out. And then just go ahead and get it your vice grips. Unscrew the barrel, clean it out, put thread locker, put it back together. Good to go. Thanks. God bless. Take care.